Boom, Watch fam! What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and welcome to, welcome to Ask TNH episode 103. Before we get into it, let's do a quick wristwatch check a la TGV. Right now, I am wearing a Bulova chronograph, powered by the Valjoux 7750, super reliable. Actually got the original strap and buckle, which is awesome. This watch to me is probably I say perfect, but perfect for it's a sweater or a suit, a chronograph that is both functional but dressy. So I love this watch. But it's available on the shop at theoandharris.com, so check it out, and there are plenty of other watches. But apart from that, let's get into the show. Okay, so today I'm going to answer a question that I just received the other day. So real quick, what do I think about Quartz Cartier tanks? What is a Quartz Cartier tank? To start it off, Cartier, basically since a long time, probably the 70s and 80s, has, just as a lot of other companies, integrated quartz into their line. Why? Because Cartier, largely, apart from the real watch collectors' watches, has been a fashion brand. Why are they in a fashion brand? Because they're iconic, because they make great designs. And when they're put it this way, they are so easily appreciable, whatever, that they've become, it's like caught on like wildfire. So when they caught on like wildfire, when people will buy them for no good reason, naturally they made their costs a little bit lower, and people kept buying them, and buying them. So they're making a fortune. So really, why, in many ways, buy an automatic or more expensive or produce a more expensive watch when you can make a cheaper one that has the same punch? So today, now we have the Cartier Tank Louise and the Solo. I think those are the two models that I was looking at that do quartz. And I think it's hard. For me, I would not wear a quartz Cartier. I'll say that out loud. Not because I should rephrase. I would not buy a Quartz Cartier. I would wear one. I have no problem with them. I still think they are absolutely beautiful. So yes, I would wear one, but I personally would not buy one. I would go look for vintage models. I would spend the time to go look for, like I have put a photo of the Cartier Santos Dumont manual wound. These are the things that I would be interested in. That doesn't mean you have to be, though, right? So, for example, I always say that I would buy a Quartz Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, without a doubt. I think that I could save a ton of money, buy a vintage 36mm watch, and move on. So that to me is what I would do. Why would I do that? Because I don't appreciate, or most of what I appreciate in the Royal Oak is not the movement. What I appreciate is the design. It's the case cutting. It's the finishing. That's what I love, and that's what so many other people love, but they don't like to admit that they don't really care about the movement in this particular watch. If you know yourself, and if you know what you value in a watch, these answers are very easy. So no, I wouldn't buy a Quartz Cartier tank, but I think that you should, maybe. Now, who should? I'll classify the kind of group of people that I think would be suited well with a Cartier tank with a quartz movement. Somebody who really is not that into dress watches. And what does that mean? Someone with a budget that doesn't want to spend a large portion of it on a mechanical watch. And I think that is totally fair. Someone with X amount of budget does not want to spend a large percentage of it on a mechanical version of this watch they think they have to have. And in many ways, the Cartier tank is a watch that a lot of people think that they have to have, which is totally fair. But that doesn't mean that they have to have the more expensive version. And I don't know what the retail difference is, but I know on the secondhand market, the quartz are significantly less expensive. I'll be totally clear that no matter where you are, value prop is key. What you're paying is key. So I think something around like $8,000 or $9,000 for a Cartier Tank Louise is ridiculous with a quartz movement. To me, that's wasting money. I can see, spending $1,000 or $2,000, which is a ton of money. Don't let me undermine that, for Cartier Tank Solo that checks off the dress box in a classy way, but you're not wasting money, Whereas, in my opinion, my humble opinion, with a Cartier Tank Louise, you're blowing a fortune. You're blowing $8,000 or $9,000. Even if it was $7,000 or $6,000, it's still way too much money for this kind of watch. It's not an FP Journe quartz. It's not a Beta 21 by Patek. It's a quartz watch, by Cartier. So that kind of at least with my opinion, that's kind of where I stand, that there is a point of diminishing return. I have no problem with spending, with investing in a Quartz Cartier, but it gets ridiculous to a certain level where the prices are just so astronomical. The whole point is to buy something that you like, but that's also a value prop, as I like to say. And in that instance, there's no value prop anywhere in near plain sight. So I do recommend that you go Quartz over nothing. But of course, if you are genuinely into mechanical watches, you're genuinely into Cartier, I absolutely recommend that you go with a mechanical version. But, let's be totally frank, the mechanical versions are nothing special. I mean, they're just mechanical. A lot of them are ETA movements. There's nothing, not Miyota, they are ETA. But apart from that, they're not special. They're not really finished. They're not decorated. It's style. I mean, it's classic, very much so American. Of course, it's French and Swiss, but fashion. I mean, it's Muhammad Ali, it's Truman Capote, it's Jack Kennedy, it's Jackie Kennedy. I mean, it's all these people that kind of are at the foundation of this style bedrock that we have in this country that wore these watches. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that we would also want them. They are beautiful, beautiful watches, and I think that a Quartz Cartier tank is the perfect watch to supplement a Submariner or whatever other sporty watch that you have that you spent a lot of money on to wear around the office or wear with a sweater or whatever in a formal setting. I would much rather, and this is just very, very personal, this is not gospel, I would much rather see someone with a Quartz Cartier tank solo at a wedding, with a suit than I would with the Submariner. And I love the Submariner, I love the GMT, but for me, my personal taste, I really do like the dress-centric watches in a dress event. So ultimately, if you know yourself, if you know what you're looking for in a watch, this decision should not be very difficult. If you have the budget and you're willing to dedicate the budget to the full all-around picture of the Cartier, with the mechanical movement, and whether that's vintage or modern, it's going to cost you a little bit more, that's fine. But if you're not, don't put yourself down. I mean, don't just not buy the watch. I mean, go with the Quartz version. It may suit you very, very well. There is no shame at all in wearing this version. If you wear it proudly. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 103 of Ask TNH. Check out the new watches in the watch shop at theoandharris.com.